Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This video is about main parts of the human brain and their functions. At a higher level, brain can be divided into three main parts: the cerebrum, the brainstem, and the cerebellum. Cerebrum. Cerebrum comprises grey matter on the outside, which is called the cerebral cortex, and white matter at its center. Cerebrum is the largest part of the brain. It initiates and coordinates movement and regulates temperature. Other areas of the cerebrum enable speech, judgment, thinking, reasoning, problem solving, emotions, and learning. Other functions relate to vision, hearing, touch, and other senses. Now, the cerebral cortex is the outer gray matter covering of the cerebrum. It is divided into two halves or hemispheres. It is covered with ridges which are called gyri and folds called sulci. Between the two halves is a large deep sulcus which is called medial longitudinal fissure. Now, the right hemisphere controls the left side of the body and left half controls the right side of the body. The two halves communicate with one another through a large C-shaped structure of white matter and nerve pathways, which is called corpus callosum. The corpus callosum is in the center of the cerebrum. Now, each brain hemisphere has four sections, which are called lobes: frontal lobe, parietal lobe, temporal lobe, and the occipital lobe. Each lobe controls specific functions. Frontal lobe is the largest lobe of the brain and it is located in the front of the head. It is involved in personality characteristics, decision making, and movement. Recognition of smell usually involves parts of the frontal lobe. The frontal lobe contains Broca's area, which is associated with speech ability. Next is parietal lobe. It is the middle part of the brain. It helps a person identify objects and understand spatial relationship. It is also involved in interpreting pain and touch in the body. The parietal lobe houses Wernicke's area, which help the brain understand spoken language. Third is occipital lobe. It is in the back part of the brain and is involved with vision. Fourth is temporal lobe. These are present on the lower sides of the brain and are involved in short-term memory, speech, musical rhythm, and some degree of smell recognition. Now, deeper structures within the brain. First is pituitary gland. It is a pea-sized structure which is found deep in the brain behind the bridge of the nose. The pituitary gland governs the function of the other glands in the body. It regulates the flow of hormones from the thyroid, adrenals, ovaries, and testicles. It receives chemical signals from the hypothalamus through its stalk and blood supply. Another important deeper structure is hypothalamus. It is located above the pituitary gland and it sends it chemical messages that control its function. Now, it regulates body temperature, synchronizes sleep pattern, controls hunger and thirst, and also plays a role in some aspect of memory and emotion. Now, another important deeper structure is amygdala. It is a small almond-shaped structure and it is located under each hemisphere of the brain. It is included in the limbic system, which regulates emotion and memory. Limbic system is also associated with the brain's reward system, stress, and the fight or flight response when someone perceives a threat. Another important deeper structure is hippocampus. It is a curved seahorse-shaped organ which is present on the underside of each temporal lobe. It is a part of a large structure which is called hippocampal formation. Now, this supports memory, learning, navigation, and perception of the space. It receives information from the cerebral cortex and it may play a role in the Alzheimer's disease. Pineal gland. It is located deep in the brain and is attached by a stalk to the top of the third ventricle. Now, this pineal gland responds to light and dark and secretes melatonin, which regulates circadian rhythm and sleep-wake cycle. Now, deep in the brain are four open areas with passageways between them. These open areas are called ventricles. These ventricles manufacture cerebrospinal fluid or CSF. It is a watery fluid that circulates in and around the ventricles and the spinal cord and between the meninges, which are the brain coverings. Now, CSF surround and cushion the spinal cord and the brain, washes out waste and impurities, and delivers nutrients. Now, second main part of the brain is brainstem. It is the middle part of the brain and it connects the cerebrum with the spinal cord. The brainstem include the midbrain, pons, and the medulla. Midbrain or mesencephalon. It is a very complex structure with a range of different neuron clusters, neural pathways, and other structures. Now, these features facilitate various functions from hearing and movement to calculating responses and environmental changes. The midbrain also contains substantia nigra, which is rich in dopamine neurons, and this area is affected by Parkinson's disease. Next part of the brainstem is pons. It is the region for 4 of the 12 cranial nerves, which enable a range of activities such as tear production, chewing, blinking, focusing vision, balance, hearing, and facial expression. Pons is connection between the midbrain and the medulla. Next, medulla. At the bottom of the brainstem, the medulla is where the brain meets the spinal cord. Medulla is essential to survival. Functions of the medulla regulate many body activities, including heart rhythm, breathing, blood flow, and oxygen and carbon dioxide levels. Now, the medulla produces reflexive activities such as sneezing, vomiting, coughing, and swallowing. Now, the third main part of the brain is cerebellum. It is a fist-sized portion of the brain and is located at the back of the head, below the temporal and occipital lobes and above the brainstem. Like the cerebral cortex, it has two hemispheres. The outer portion contains neurons and the inner area communicates with the cerebral cortex. Its function is to coordinate voluntary muscle movements and to maintain posture, balance, and equilibrium. Okay friends, thanks for watching. Please like, share, comment and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more informative health videos.